You have recently, as you said, returned from the UK where you ran a Bob Graham round. For those of you who don't know, 106 kilometres, 8,200 metres, 250 metres of vert and descent, a vertical ascent and descent, and you cracked the magic 24-hour mark, 23 hours, 27 minutes and 33 seconds. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Where to begin? I just had this stunning day out there with these people who cared deeply, deeply about this, the traditions of this, the round and the mountains in the Lake District.
It is fabulous to be off. It really is. It's terrifying, it's exciting, it's the whole thing, you know.
When did you sort of first become aware of it, or when did it sort of enter your consciousness?
I'm pretty sure it was Richard Askwith's superb book, Feet in the Clouds.
Oh.
And the reason I say I'm pretty sure is I spent quite a lot of time in the Lake District. I've been going there since I was probably 6 years old, because my best mate's parents, my godparents, Malcolm and Judith, have a house there. And so I went there when I lived in the UK when I was a kid, sort of at least once a year. So I kind of may have heard of it when I was younger, but it never really entered my consciousness until I read Richard Askwith, friend of the show, I think. Yeah, read his book.
Yeah.
And I think that must have been probably about 2013, 2014, just when I started to get into running.
What are some of the basic rules that you have to follow to be able to do it? Because it's not marked. It's not marked as such, is it? And there's no. And since it's a race, how do you prove that you've done it? All those sorts of things. What are some of the basic rules?
The round itself is this list of 42 peaks, and the rule is you touch the door at the moot hall, you touch the summit of each of these 42 peaks in whatever order you like, in whatever path you like, and then you touch the door again. It's that simple. It does get slightly more complicated because there's actually a club, and the rules of the club state that you've got to have someone witness you touching each of the peaks. That's partly to make sure that people don't cheat, but really it's for safety as well.
So speaking of those people who do help you and sort of swing in behind you, how did you make contact with them, and how do you go about letting people know that you're keen and that you're serious and that you're capable as well?
Of course, the answer is to many things these days is the internet. I went onto a Facebook group around it called Bob Graham Round Attempts 2023 and onwards, and I was on there. Martin, who's a former colleague of mine, we both got into running, and he said, hold on, I can get you some paces, let me know how you're going. These people obviously had such incredible love that they would drive, I think, up to 100 miles to meet some guy in the middle of the night who they've never met before and have no knowledge of, other than possibly a bit of Strava stalking, I was told, to then shepherd him through sort of 4 to 5 hours, 13, 14 miles, 20, 21 kilometers, and a couple of thousand meters of vert through the mountains, for absolutely no recompense themselves other than the joy and the satisfaction of having done it.
Wow. Amazing. Isn't that beautiful?
I had 7 paces, and I'm going to read out their names, but just because
please do.
These people who helped me out, they've got a love and a passion for it that's just incredible, and I'll talk a little bit more on their details. So in the first leg I had Andy and Dave, and then Simon and Richie on leg 2, Jeff and Ali on leg 3, Martin on leg 4, and James on leg 5. So thank you to those guys who were just, they were everything you would want in paces, everything.
Good morning, Simon and Richie.
It is, yeah. I'm Richie.
Good morning.
Guys.
I'm Gaz. Morning, mate. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Hey, thank you so much for coming out. Right, chaps. Thank you so much, gents.
There's micro navigation, and you can save moments. These guys are like, don't touch that pile of stones. That's not the true summit. It's the one 10 yards over. Because there are so many piles of stones that quite a lot of people used to go and touch them all just because, to be safe. But they knew exactly which ones. They knew the fastest routes. They were asking me questions about, did I want to take the stairs on the left or the steep bit on the right? So Simon and Richie, just this incredible micro knowledge of every blade of grass and the kind of Leg 2. There's this community of people who will do that. Some of whom have not done the round themselves, because you don't have to have done the round. So Andy, one of the guys on Leg 1, Scottish guy, got roped into it at the last minute. He came and ran with us, and he's I think I don't know how many he said, but he's certainly, pick a number between 5 and 10 rounds he's helped out on. He's not done it himself just because he really likes it. He gets a kick out of it. He so enjoys helping people and seeing them achieve something that's really hard. And what better a way to spend your weekends than that?
Fantastic. I love that. That's shiver down the spine kind of thing, really. Just that sacrifice and that shared joy, really, of something, especially something that's got such amazing tradition and history. So you'd heard of it in Richard's book, and when did you sort of seriously first start thinking, I want to have a go at this?
I sort of read the book, and I think at the time, again, it was one of those things when I just started running and I didn't have the fitness or the experience, and it never occurred to me at the time. It sort of, I guess it did, but only in the context of that's who runs 106 kilometers, 66 miles through the mountains. Not me. I've got to express my enormous gratitude to my wife. I originally had two people, my older brother and my wife, who were going to crew me, and my older brother had to drop out, unfortunately. And so my wife drove certainly over 300 kilometers, picking up people, ferrying them to run with me, taking them back to their cars, feeding me, texting me to say, what do you want the next one? I'd love a ham sandwich, please. I feel terrible. Coffee. Yeah. Coffee really, really helped. Each time. And so you don't really go through villages, but you cross the roads, and that's when you get a chance to swap paces, top up everything. But there's quite a bit of logistics that goes into that.
That's an endurance incident, or endurance event in itself. Sorry,
it really is.
Crewing, like that, and 300 kilometers of driving. That's quite something. And trying to stay awake and getting around, and amazing, and all the navigation and everything. So hats off to her.
Massively. And it was okay, because each of the times she'd have one or two of my paces in the car who knew exactly where they were going, so the navigation was okay. But it's an ultra marathon, as you say, in itself, just doing all of the driving around the place. So the next holiday is going to be somewhere with a beach and a spa, and whatever Katrina wants on her holiday, she's going to get.
Absolutely.
She absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been to both, just in case.
There's a couple of route choices, particularly going from Scarfell Pike to Scarfell, where there's no good way to do it, and you either have to rock climb, or you end up going up one of a couple of different gullies that have some pretty serious exposure. You've got like a 300-meter drop off the side of you. So there's route choices. There's different ways of doing it, and you can pick it depending on your strengths. So the classic one is, I was talking about the route between Scarfell Pike and Scarfell. There's like three routes, one of which is you just go straight up the middle and rock climb. But if you fall off, it's a 300-meter. You're going to fall 300 meters onto rock, and it's a known accident black spot. So some people do it, though. Some people absolutely do it. There's kind of another one called Fox's Tarn, which if you've not quite got the head heights, it's the slowest route, but it's the safest. Or there's the kind of middle one I chose, and I think Mal Law did the same route as well, which is up the Lord's Rake, which is a scree-filled gully, and then you cut across the Westwall Traverse. So you've kind of got to make lots of decisions about the round, and sure, you could have people just ferry you around it, but that's not in the spirit of the thing. You've got to immerse yourself in the culture of it, the route itself, and learn the thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to do it and feel that I got carried around by people, but I didn't participate in the navigation, the route choice, that kind of stuff. Do positive things to make yourself feel positive. Because if you're not feeling positive, you don't do positive things. So do something positive, eat something, drink something, get something in your head. And I just got this thing in my head that I'm not a person, I'm a machine. I walk, I run, I eat, and I drink. And that is it. And I'm going to eat something, and I'm going to drink something, and I'm going to walk some more, and if I can run, I'll run a bit. And there was just this determination that I just did not want to have to do Red Gully again. I was just going to get there, and as if I kept moving, it would just happen.
And you did. You smashed it.
I did.
How good did that feel?
It felt great, and it was just stuff like I ate something, I drank something. I said to my pacer Martin, right, as soon as we can see Honister Slate Mine, which is the final road crossing, I'm going to give you all of my stuff. I want 2 500ml flasks of Morton 120. I want a bag of Haribo, and I want my final piece of Saurian malt loaf. I'm not going to stop. Give them to James, my next pacer. I'm just going to run through. I'm going to throw my rubbish in the car on the way past. And I just got to the next thing, and it said steep grassy slope, but it's not quite runnable. And I just got my poles out, and it was like pole, step, pole, step, pole, step, pole, step. And so I just didn't stop.
I'm not going to ask you what's next, because that's unfair. Let's just sit in that and just enjoy it. And congratulations. Amazing. Thank you for sharing it with us as well. Really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, and I'd say to anyone who wants to have a go at the Bob Graham round, you absolutely should, but take it seriously, train for it, work hard at it. It's an astonishing experience, but it doesn't have to be the Bob Graham round. That's just one of these things, and it's a particular experience. We've got things here in New Zealand. We've got the SK Traverse.
Yeah. There's a Craigieburn round.
The Craigieburn round. Oh man, that looks like a doozy. That does.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations again. I really appreciate it. Not only for sharing that experience with us, but for jumping in as co-host.